Hey friends, it's Len here from 1A Auto. Today I wanted to talk to you about maintenance on vehicles. Some things you can put off and some things maybe you can't. Let's get into it. Now before we get started, why don't you get right down here and click on that like button for me. While you're at it, leave me a comment. Maybe give me some of your input on things that you like to maybe keep in mind for your intervals, or maybe some of the things that you put off that really aren't that important to you. I'd love to hear from you. While you're at it, why don't you go down there and click on that subscribe button and ring the bell. That way there you can be kept up with all of our latest content. Let's get started. So while some things on your vehicle seem as though they have maintenance that you have to keep up with on a semi-monthly basis, other things on the other hand are going to seem like they have an extended interval of service. Those things that you think about on the daily, of course, would probably be your oil change. Everybody's looking at that sticker up on the windshield to make sure they're not going over on that interval. Nobody wants their engine to go bad. You'd also want to keep up with making sure your fluids are full. Your washer fluid's pretty important. You need to be able to see. Pretty much everything inside your vehicle is going to need to be replaced at some point in time. If you have power steering, that fluid needs to be changed out. Your coolant, your transmission, your oil like we said already, and pretty much any other fluid that might be under the hood. Any of those things are going to have an interval that range between 3,000 and maybe all the way up to 100,000 miles, depending on the service, your type of vehicle. Your manufacturer is going to have specified intervals for your particular vehicle. Now, what's the most important thing to think about when you're completing maintenance is your safety items. Your safety is paramount. Obviously, the cost of replacing a part is going to be much cheaper than the possible breakdown, the tow, and potential injury that may or may not be involved due to lack of maintenance. So now some of the stuff that you may or may not think about, especially on the daily basis, would be of course the timing chain or belt. If you have a timing belt, that's going to have a service interval that's pretty extended. You know what I mean? Not everybody's thinking, oh, in 100,000 miles, I need to make sure that I get around to doing that timing belt. Different vehicles, like I said, have different service intervals. So you'd want to check that book and make sure that you keep up with them as needed. Of course, you've got the tune-up in these things. You're going to have spark plugs, you're going to have, coils, you're going to have spark plug wires, you're going to have all sorts of things that make the ignition work. Those are all going to need to be changed out over time as well. You're going to have filters underneath the hood. You want to make sure you keep up with those as well. So something that's super important to remember when it comes to maintenance intervals is the severity of the conditions you're driving in, right? If it's hot outside or super cold outside, super dusty, super muddy, super wet, maybe you climbed a mountain, maybe you're hauling stuff, who knows? It's going to change your service intervals. If you're doing something that's going to put the car or truck underneath strain, go ahead and change that service interval from 3,000 to maybe 2,500 or whatever the case may be. Just bring it down a little bit and make sure you keep up with checking on those fluids. And of course, don't forget, if you're driving something that's four-wheel drive or even all-wheel drive, you need to get underneath the vehicle and check those gearboxes. Now, if you can, make sure you can try to get underneath the vehicle. You want to be safe as can be, so make sure you're on jack stands and everything is as stable as possible. There's going to be things under here that are going to have service intervals, and there's going to be things under here that are going to have more of like a wear indicator type of deal where you're going to notice that there's an issue. You've got, of course, your brakes. You could take a peek at your brakes. You've got your front end. You could, of course, check your front end, your axles. You'd want to check that front differential. That has a service interval. Your transfer case and, of course, the rear differential also have service intervals. But the things that maybe that don't have service intervals that you might want to worry about is, of course, checking for leaks. If you have any sort of leak, you're going to want to take care of that because that could make your fluid low over time and cause running issues or drivability issues. You'd want to check your brake lines and your fuel lines. Make sure they don't look like they're all rusted and rotted. If I had a brake line that looked like this one, it would be coming out of here ASAP and getting replaced. You could check your fuel filter. If it looks like it's all rusted and rotted, more than likely it hasn't been replaced in probably quite a long time, and more than likely it also needs to be replaced ASAP. If the outside looks like this, I can only imagine what the inside looks like. And then work your way right back to this rear differential. You want to check to make sure it's not leaking. If it looks like this, obviously it's leaking. Not everybody keeps up with the same said maintenance. There are some things that you might notice that get put off, and maybe they're just on the back burner, or maybe you don't even think about them. It's just one of those things. If it's not right in your face with a light on the dash, streaks across the windshield, or strange noises coming from somewhere, generally people often forget about the maintenance the vehicle needs. Most parts on your vehicle are considered wear items. Generally speaking, pretty much anything besides Twinkies have a lifespan. And some things wear out faster due to the nature of the parts, such as like oil, brakes, maybe your tune-up, stuff like that. Okay, so can you drive with a dirty air filter? Sure. Can you drive with corroded battery terminals? Okay, your car just may not want to start very easily, but can you? Sure. there are some things that you need to think about that maybe you shouldn't. Now, if you look at those tires and they look like they're worn low, maybe your brakes are squealing or the check engine light's on, it's probably not the best idea to continue driving. So here's what you gotta do. Check all your lights, exterior and interior. If you can't see or be seen, you're gonna be dangerous in that vehicle. Go ahead and check those fluids. Overall, the oil might be the fluid that gets changed the most often. Then probably your transmission fluid, but other fluids need to at least have their levels and conditions checked. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and check that tune-up. Go ahead and pull a plug and take a look. If you could feel a misfire while idling or even at higher RPMs, more than likely you need a tune-up. Make sure you check those filters, engine air and cabin air filter. If your engine can't breathe properly, your miles per gallon is going to decrease, overall cause damage to your engine. And you obviously want to breathe fresh air rather than dirty air, right? Generally speaking, if you're replacing the engine air filter, go ahead and replace your cabin air filter at the same time. Make sure you take a look at that dash. If you see any of those maintenance lights on or even your check engine light on, that's something you need to get checked. You could be doing minimal to even severe damage to your vehicle or even the environment. Okay, so if you're a person like me that likes to try to think ahead, go ahead and take a look at that manual and check those service intervals. Once you do, I would try to mark yourself in for a service interval that's maybe a little bit before that. That way there, it kind of gives me a little bit of leeway to get them done as needed. Okay, so in conclusion, keep up with those service intervals. Check that owner's manual, make sure you know what's going on. I'm going to call it your prerogative on what you want to do for your vehicle, but by sticking to the service intervals directed to you by this, By sticking to the service intervals directed to you by the manufacturer, it's going to help keep your vehicle on the road for a long, long time, and it's also going to help prevent costly repairs down the road. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts shipped to your door, the place for DIY auto repair. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button.